All right, we're going to go a little meta here. So sit down, think about this here. When I say meta, a lot of the ways that I look at the world is not on the surface level, but instead I like to look at how things came to be. So when I typically say meta, I'm usually applying the learning to the experience itself. An example of this is I focus more on how someone chooses to learn how to learn than what it is that they're learning, right? So that element of like applying the process to the actual outcome is where I look at meta a lot of times. There's a lot of things about me that where I look in the meta world. It's one of my greatest strengths. It's how the reason I love doing that there is like it goes into the teach someone how to fish versus get them fish, right? Or feed them fish. It goes into the element of like I think about it as like building an engine, an ever going engine. I'm like I can drive you from one place to the other, but if I can like help you understand what your engine of growth is, what will help motivate you, what will help you move in every single situation so that you can honestly keep repeating that and not just repeating that, but have it compound upon itself so that you can grow really quickly and exponentially, I'm going to do that. So to me, we don't get that from, I've been a consultant for most of my career. So I know how to deliver point solutions to a client to be able to help them move to the next stage. And maybe at the time when I was a consultant, I wanted them to come back to me with help for whatever came next. But honestly, right now, the things that I'm doing, I don't have time for that. Like I want to move on to like the next exciting project. I want to move on to the next exciting thing. And so to constantly be solving point solutions is just not interesting for me. So I built up the skill of being really meta. And so someone actually called it there's a coach in my world. His name is Saleo Michaels. Shout out Saleo. He called it a meditation instead of meditation, meditation. So I'm going to meditate right now. I'm in the middle right now of creating some videos, all related to a conversation I had with a friend who responded. In my head, I said, who called me out for not being relatable. That is not what happened. Actually, what happened is that he read a series of emails I asked him to give me feedback on, and he said, I don't find this relatable, the external set of emails. But even now, as I'm making some videos on it to share some of what I learned through that experience and in that journey, it's still feeling internalized. Uh, in this particular moment, I'm not going to speak too much on that. What I'm going to talk about is the meta part of all this, which is I have been recording the videos and I realized that they're like 8, 7, 10 minutes long each. And then I'll redo it. I'm like, I got to do this again so I can make it shorter for people. And it's like, boom, 7 minutes. I'm like, oh, I skimmed off a minute. You kidding me? You real about that? Like, all right, like, let's keep moving. I actually was planning on setting, I have my phone right next to me. I was like, maybe I can set a 3-minute alarm for each of these things. But it's really interesting because there are, it's the meta is showing up here. How his comment was, I don't find this relatable. Right. And so I decided, I'm like, let me go out there and be like, let me explore this. Let me experiment with this. These videos are part of that process. And on the meta level, it's like how I choose to be relatable. Is that even relatable? And one of the things for me is like, I like to slow down. I like to take time. I realized that I had cut out most of my stories, most of how I'm actually feeling in the moment, and instead had been creating a lot of different videos that are all over Facebook and Instagram. Like you can subscribe to me on all the channels. In fact, do so. Like if you haven't yet, subscribe to me on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channels, listen to us on the podcast. Like there's places to hear and to be in these conversations with me. But I had realized that in each of them, I'd actually kept I didn't bring me into the conversations as much because once I started talking about my own personal experience, it seemed to go on to 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8-minute long videos. I'm doing much better than the 25-minute Facebook Lives I started out with, but and I do have like a 6-second video as well, which I'm really proud of. But I found myself in this case here in this exploration of like relatedness, really being judgmental of myself and saying like, wow, if I'm going to relate to people, it's taken me so long. And then that feedback that I heard in the past of like when people were like, "Hey, like your videos are too long," came up. And what that, like, I was actually determined. I'm like, this is gonna be a 3 minute video talking about like the meta aspects of how long my videos are. But I don't think that's real. Like, it's, if you need to listen to me on 2x speed, go ahead and do that. I listen to most people on 2 to 3x speed as it is. Like, what's real here is like the elements of really being like, how do I say it? Of choosing to water down the experience in order to be more relatable or to be able to be more easily digestible. And I don't think that's really what we're here to do. And I have to call this out. Like, I have chosen to play this game as a leader by not being a guru. I'm saying I've already done this path, and I'm teaching all of you. I want you to escape all the mistakes that I've made. I'll teach you the 7 point system to be able to get to this very specific result. I don't do that. I don't play that game because, like, I don't want to get caught and trapped having to do the same things over and over and over again. I'm someone who's consistently on my journey. I know that I'm going to keep expanding, and I surround myself with growth oriented people. That's the same game that you're playing. And so I recognize I'm going to make this video here to just slow it down and call out the very, like, call this out for myself. But I also know, like, for you, it may not be about the length of times of your videos. It might be something completely different. It might be that you love writing, but you feel like you need to do video, or you love to, you're an artist, and you feel like you need to, like, you can't bring your art into the work that you do, or you write poetry, or whatever it is. Like, you have some unique gift. There's some way that you actually feel connected to yourself and connected to others, and then you get some feedback that it's too long or no one's going to watch it or whatever it is, because that's not the way things normally go. Well, here goes my thing right now in the middle of this I'm just going to say it. My general thing is, I like to look at that and say, oh, I'm not adding value to this person. I'm not adding value to this person. There are people who I have spent a lot of time with. I've joined their programs. Like, I have continued to get deeper and deeper in their communities and so forth, that, and I've paid money to. Really, realistically, I think that's the part I wasn't putting in there. But let's be real if we're going to be real. Um, and the thing about that is, like, they have like hour and a half long videos to start. They have 30-minute conversations, so on and so forth. Like, and I digested all of it. And then not only did I get done that, I went to the next one and the one after that and the one after that. Those are the people that I actually end up, like, choosing to join their communities with. Those are the people that I choose to open my wallet to and continue down the path with. And so I think that there's something that's real about this here, where it's like, I want to call out, as I'm experiencing this in real time. I want to call out, like, for your people, the way that is most natural to you, and the way that, like, really, that yeah, the way that's natural to you is exactly what they're looking for. Is exactly what they're looking for. And so, if you write poetry, then I don't need to read like, I would love to read your poetry. Like, that's it. If you're a singer, like, bring in your singing. If there's a unique point of view that you have that you don't feel most other people have, bring it. Bring it. Because the people who it's not for, they simply won't resonate with it. I didn't realize it, but I was actually hearing some really great feedback of, like, what you are putting out into the world isn't worth it to me to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to pay attention to. If you made it a meme, if you made a nice little quote, I can go and like it, and that would feel good. But, like, I'm just not interested enough in what you are putting out. Fair. I get that. Fair. And I, like, for us trailblazers, I want to be talking to you here, and just make sure that you're not, that we don't end up diluting and dampening the message and the things that we have to put out to the people who are meant to hear it, um, because we're catering to what we think those around us might want. That's not the game. If it's not for them, it's not for them. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not, that it's just like, we can just throw our hands up. Like, we have to go now find the work of the people who are actively looking for this, actively, like, craving for something that we have to offer, and then we'll do it. Like, that's it. Like that's where I'm going to leave this video here. I wanted to get a little meta because I recognized the process as I was in the middle of the process and how much I was chastising and judging myself. And I was like, I'm like, if I'm doing this here, I know my trailblazers are probably also experiencing something similar or have experienced that. I just want to create some space for both myself and for you as it goes along. So let me know what's your flavor of this? What's the thing where you know that there's a natural outlet, there's a natural way that you want to be communicated, but maybe because of some early feedback that you got or because of what you see in terms of what everyone else is doing, you've actually diluted that and you're keeping it from being seen in the way that it needs to come out, in the way that you need to produce it. I'll leave you with one last thing. There's two things here. Like the thing I'm going to leave you with is this: as Niiamah, I'm going to create however I need to create. But I also, as NiiamahAshong.com, I have a team of people who will help me go out and make the 5-minute version of this. Like I started out talking about meta, they might go and make a clip out of just that meta part. And then make another clip out of this part over here where I leaned in and I said, hey, like, let me tell you about it. This is the meta, by the way. Like you're experiencing another version of it. Like in the middle of talking about the video, I'm talking about how I'm going to use the video to continue on this path, this process. That's my strength. Why would I hide that from you? Why would I hide that from you? Uh, and so I want to call that out because like if you're interested, we can have conversations about how you can do your thing your way, and then we can find ways to repurpose or to get people on your team to support you in translating that into other ways that other people will be able to receive it. But like, let's not dilute your message, your impact, the way that you communicate, you express in the world. Let's make sure that that comes out nice and strong and full. When I say strong, it's not like a forceful strong. It's strong with its presence and ownership. Let's make sure that's taken care of. And once that's taken care of, we can go on and take and figure out however other people want to listen to this. What's really blowing my mind is some of you might only watch this as a clip and then go and watch the full conversation in the future. That's how we're playing the game. There is way more space to be you and to be successful as you than it may seem. This is our world for the shaping. So let's make the most of that. All right. Leave a comment wherever you are. Let's open the conversation with all of us here. Sometimes I respond. A lot of times, like other members within the tribe respond. It's a nice way for us to have an asynchronous conversation that can last over the course of time and continue to help us all build regardless of when we watch the video. So leave a comment wherever you are, wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or if you're even inside of our Trailblazer collective, and just leave a comment and continue the conversation. Right. And if you're looking for other resources like this, I think what I'm going to say is this: I'm going to leave you with a call to action, which is wherever you're watching this, make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe to this here because you're going to find that I'm going to come up with content in different ways, and sometimes it'd be. I think the element is like find a place where this is best for you to be with, where like me as your Sherpa works for you best. If it's through podcasts and it's the audio, so you can have more flexibility and just download it and go where you want, cool. If you want to see the face and be in a conversation with me like that, awesome. See you on YouTube, or if you're looking for little snips and clips along the way, I'll see you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or wherever else people are nowadays, But the fun part is like, I'm going to create in a way that's best for me, uh, and continue to let that out in a way that's real and share it out with you. Okay, if I now I feel the video is getting too long, so I'm gonna stop it here. But like, I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation. All right, I'm thinking of you here. Here goes the thing: you got this, and we got you. Journey on. Ooh, someone's just arriving. See you soon.